Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Road America and the 10th race of the season. We're finally back here in the Haas IndyCar Series after that great race we had at Indianapolis, the Indianapolis 250. Once again, a huge congratulations to Angel Gutierrez on his first career race victory on the channel. He's not in this race here today. It's the 26th full-time guys only once again. And now with only 7 races left to go until the championship is decided at Pocono, these guys are going to be focusing on getting as many points as they can. And we're here at the longest track on the circuit, just over 4 miles long, 13 laps here today for Chevy Indy Wisconsin. This is always a great race, one of the best road course races we have here in the Haas IndyCar Series. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm joined alongside Andrew Miller. Once again, Micah couldn't join us. He's still recovering from the Indianapolis 500 trip. What a great trip that was. You saw it on the vlog there. But Andrew, you were in the booth with the Indianapolis 250. Completely different style of race here at Road America. It is a road course, so it's difficult to work your way from the back to the front, but a very high-speed road course at that. What do these guys need to do to go to victory lane here around this 4-mile road course in eastern Wisconsin?
Well, track position, I think, is going to be key. I mean, on these road courses, passing is always at a premium. And with it being this long of a road course, there aren't going to be very many laps for these guys to try to make their way from the back to the front. So if you're starting up front, you're in a great spot. If you're starting mid-pack or toward the back, well, you're going to have to try to find a way to get up there, whether that be through some kind of pit strategy or whatever have you. So see what these guys are going to be able to do to try to make that happen, and what they can do to try to catch Luna Lona, the point leader, as the season is starting to wind down just a little bit here. So if you're down around like 7th, 8th in points, maybe try to gain as much as you can because your time is running out.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned 7th and 8th in points because those two drivers start on the front row here today at Road America. Trey Smith, 7th in points, won the pole yesterday, and his teammate Chris Reynolds right alongside him there to lead us to the green flag. Both drivers have already gone the victory lane this season, and as for Chris Reynolds' case, he's done it twice this season, both on the road courses in California. So going to be interesting to see if those guys catch up to Luna Lona at the end of today. But like you mentioned there, Luna Lona still the points leader here in the Haas IndyCar Series. A pretty solid Indy 250 week for her. She's 16 points ahead of Aaron Abel there. Jay Knapp had a great run in the Indianapolis 250. He's 27 points behind. John Andrews, winner of this race in 2018, is 37 points behind. And then Logan Williams, the Wisconsin native, 38 points behind coming into today's event. Of course, a long road course here, so we're going to get these guys to roll off right now. And we'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from Road America. And we'll give you guys a starting lineup. Trey Smith won the pole yesterday, and his teammate Chris Reynolds going to be starting right alongside him. Trey Smith actually got that fastest time just at the end of the Fast 6 shootout ahead of Chris Reynolds there. But nonetheless, the Outer Island Motorsports teammates 1-2 to start this race here today. We got Tanner Barton and Noah Clifton there on row number 2. Of course, first place and third place are on the outside lane, and then second and fourth are on the inside lane, and that's how it goes the entire way through the field. So it's actually reverse of what you would think it normally would be. So gonna be intrigued to see if that inside lane does in fact have the advantage on the pole sitter when we get to the start of this race. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting start. Got Wisconsin Speedworks teammates there. Home race for these guys, John Stewart and Avery Alford. There's Andrew Williams, the owner of this team. This is his home racetrack, along with his brother, Logan Williams. We got the 00 of Luna Lona, starting 8th. Our points leader there alongside the number 3 of Caleb Rose. Row number 5 sees Bradley Bradshaw and Aaron Abel. And Aaron Abel second in the points, right behind the points leader to start this race. He's 16 points behind coming into this event. Could have a good opportunity and maybe stealing the points lead if things go his way here today. Of course, further down in the points, Brad Stover and Trey Smith are tied for 6th coming into this race, as Trey Smith has the bonus point for winning the pole. They are both 44 points behind. Chris Reynolds is 50 points behind, starting on the outside pole for this race, and then Zidell and Cole Raymond 56 and 71 points behind, respectively. Of course, Cole Raymond, a 2-time winner this season, along with Chris Reynolds. We'll have to see if either of those drivers, and especially Chris Reynolds, gets their 3rd win of the season here. Last year, this race was won by Trey Smith, who starts on the pole position. Andrew, do you think he has an opportunity at going back-to-back in this event, or do you think it's going to be somebody else going to victory lane here in Chevy Indy Wisconsin?
I think he's got a good opportunity, but honestly, I'm going to put my money on Chris Reynolds there. Starting on the inside, going into turn 1. I know that Smith will get the jump, but ultimately, unless he clears, I think that Reynolds is going to have a really good chance of possibly breaking that tie for most wins on the season with Cole Raymond.
We're going to have to see what he can do there in that 75 machine for Otter Island Motorsports. Of course, this team has been very strong this season. As an organization, they've won 3 times. Trey Smith won in Richmond, and then Cole Raymond, well, not Cole Raymond, but Chris Reynolds, I should say. They both have CR as their initials. Chris Reynolds won at Riverside and Willow Springs early on in the season, and could have very well won at Circuit of the Americas as well. I do believe got taken out in that race, but I'll have to see if anyone gets taken out in this race. A very high-speed road course. We're going to have a cycle of pit stops about midway through, just a little bit past midway. Lap 7, lap 8, lap 9 around that time, but a one-stopper for these guys here in this 13-lap event. But there's not going to be much tire wear for these guys either, so these guys are essentially going to be running the same lap times each and every lap. So these guys are going to be right on each other most of this race, and it's going to be a little difficult to pass, but they can do it. And we will probably see some passes for position. We definitely will see some passes for position. We'll have to see if we get one for the race lead, not on the pit lane. 26 cars in the field. And now that we have recovered from Indy 250 week, we're back at it here in the Haas IndyCar Series. One of the best road courses in the country and one of the best road course races here in the series. I'll never forget the 2020 race. Top 3 were going into the kink right on each other. Nathan Stapleton, Thomas Lipscomb, and Garrett Sonor. Second and third place, Lipscomb and Sonor got into each other, spun out, and it gave way to Stapleton getting the win in that race. And of course, last year, Trey Smith went on to win this event, looking for 2 in a row here at Road America. Pace car down the pit lane. They're climbing up the hill for the green flag here in Chevy Indy Wisconsin. 13 laps of action around this 4-mile-long road course in eastern Wisconsin. We're green flag racing here in Chevy Indy Wisconsin in the Haas IndyCar Series. Trey Smith going to take the lead away right there. And a good jump for the 79. And he said that Chris Reynolds was going to get the advantage there at the start of the race. That did not end up happening. And Trey Smith clear out ahead to the race lead, but a clean start as well. So that's a good thing to see, as we're 3 wide, though, in the turn 5. And Avery Alford falling back there in the 13 machine. As Luna, Bradley Bradshaw try to get around him there. Thankfully, they're keeping it together for now, and good to see these guys have a clean first lap, at least initially. But how about the Otter Island machines of Trey Smith and Cole, or should I say Chris Reynolds? Did it again right there. 1-2 right now of John Stewart, Tanner Parton, and Noah Clifton in the top 5.
Yeah, what we saw there was the fact that Trey Smith was able to clear Chris Reynolds by just a smidge going into turn 1 there, and that pretty much made it so that he could make the corner properly. And then Reynolds just had to kind of slide in behind. So perfect jump there by Smith. And going to hopefully try to extend this lead for himself. Ooh, gets a little loose there by the looks of it. But yeah, that might, I don't know. It doesn't look like they're going to really be able to separate as much as, of course, when they did at the Indy road course.
Yeah, not at all. These guys, such a high-speed road course. And what I said, too, tire wear not near as significant as it is at other places. As a matter of fact, like I said, we pretty much run the same lap times each and every lap here, so these guys don't really separate from each other that much, and especially if the 2 cars are running just about as fast as each other. Well, Trey Smith's going to get the first lap lead, picking up right where he left off from this place last year. Good jump for him there at the start, and like you said, got that advantage in turn 1, and that made all the difference. But nice and clean throughout the field so far. All 26 drivers still on the lead lap and still running here at Road America. So a nice clean start. That's what we wanted to see. And I'm glad that that all ended up working out. They're single file throughout a majority of the field here at the moment. Got Noah Clifton, who won here in 2016, running in the 5th position. You got Caleb Rose there in 6th. Avery Alford fell back to 7th there, but he did start in the 5th position for this race. Actually, 6th, I should say. Yeah, he started in 6th. Luna Lona there as they shuffle ahead. Caleb Rose. We got 3 drivers in this series that have CR as their initials, and I keep on getting them confused. There's Chris Reynolds, there's Cole Raymond, there's Caleb Rose. This is Caleb Rose going for 5th, still going for his first career win on the channel, trying to get it here on Noah Clifton. A great battle here for the 5th position.
And as they got plenty of grip to try to go side by side here, and look at that move there through the carousel, and going to be able to get that spot. And Luna Lona also starting to get into this battle. Look out there through the kink. That is going to be the dangerous spot.
Yeah, and remember 2020, that's where Lipscomb and Sonor got into each other that one year. And Alfred almost lost it into the kink, and Luna Lona going to get around him. Oh, boy. Contact between those two guys. And here's Aaron Abel trying to gain as many points as he can on Luna Lona in the championship. And look at this battle. This all started because Caleb Rose had a run on Noah Clifton, and Alfred could not get around Caleb Rose in reaction. We'll have to see if Lona can hold on to this inside up the hill. Tanner Parton was looking there on John Stewart, unable to make the move. And how about these two guys 1-2, and they're pulling away. Chris Reynolds right on the gearbox of Trey Smith here as we start lap number 3. How about Tanner Parton all over the gearbox of John Stewart here for the 3rd position. These guys just stay so close to each other, and they're all over the place. And Luna Lona still trying to get that position on Alfred, but unable to do so. But they lost some time there to Caleb Rose and Noah Clifton. Now Lona's got a shot to the inside, and it looks like this double zero is going to get it as Tanner Parton going to make easy work on John Stewart as they head into turn 5.
Lona's got to be trying to, or rather has to be thinking right now as makes the pass there early. Oh, golly. But it's got to be thinking, that's Aaron Abel behind me. I've got to try to get away from him so that I can try to extend this point lead by just a little bit. Every little bit helps as the races go on here. And now with a car between her and Abel, that's going to be good, although that might not last long.
It might not. Alfred definitely struggling out there in the 13 machine. Had a great qualifying effort, made the Fast 6. But unfortunately for him, it's not been a good start to this race, relatively speaking. Has lost a couple of positions. Noah Clifton definitely falling behind. Tanner Parton, actually I should say, Tanner Parton got around John Stewart, never mind right there. But still, Clifton kind of falling behind. Actually still in the same position he started in. What am I talking about? But Caleb Rose there, trying to close in on him here. He had a shot a couple laps ago, couldn't quite get it there. But we'll have to see if Caleb Rose has another opportunity. As Luna Lona now running in the 7th position, Avery Alford. And then you got the 97 machine there of Aaron Abel, and Roy Ribbleton rounds out the top 10 now. Back through the field, you got Thomas Troxel in 42 machine, I should say, still trying to recover from that horrendous Indy 250 week where he failed to qualify. He, along with Ace Garcia, but failed to qualify in that race. They're both back here today, and there's Ace Garcia in the 27 machine. Not good runs for John Andrews, who won this race in 2018. Nicholas Zambadillo, Zachary Fitzwater deep in the field as well. Tough break for the hometown hero Logan Williams here in the 38 machine. Down in 21st right now, but we may see some pit strategy, may see some things go on the pit lane, as we're going to have one cycle in this race, and that's going to really determine who gets the race victory. Aaron Abel. And you can tell all these guys kind of stuck behind this 13 of Avery Alford right here. Will Abel make the move in the 5? He will. And we'll have to see if he can make it cleanly. But Alford losing yet another position, or at least in threat to do so, but got that run in the outside lane. And he's going to hold on to it for now as Ribbleton trying to close in here on Aaron Abel for 9th.
Man, this 13, you know that it's not a good situation when you've got the field getting away from you, in front of you, and just an absolute train behind you. Don't know if maybe there might be something wrong in this car or what, but one way or another, I don't think that he can. I don't think that he can wait to get that pit stop in, because he's got to be like, I've got to fix something about this.
Yeah, that 13 machine is definitely not up to speed compared to some of the cars ahead of him. But this could be all in the setup, you know. The cars, while they have equal ratings, they have a very wide range in the ratings, 25-point range. That's 5 more points than it is in the Wall Cup Series, and that could definitely make a huge difference in the differential of speed between the fastest and slowest cars, and I think that's what we're seeing right there. Caleb Rose all over the gearbox of Noah Clifton. He's going to try to make a move up the hill and down in the turn number 1 right here. And if he can hold side by side with this 94, which it looks like he will, that's a tight one there. Couldn't quite hold on to it. You have to really check on the brakes there on the inside lane, and Clifton able to get that outside lane to work. It's the case for so many corners here at this road course. You'll enter with an advantage, but the exit is definitely preferable on the outside lane. I think Caleb Rose is finally going to get it here, though, on Noah Clifton, if he can clear in the turn 5. But Clifton's going to hang tough there on the inside, and they're going to remain side by side for the 5th position. Meanwhile, Lunalona trying to close in on these guys. But Caleb Rose is going to take it away right there. He's now up to the 5th position here at Road America.
Nice move there. Got a great run off of the second corner. As I was just checking further back there, and yep, they're still all just kind of bottlenecked behind the 13. Some dust being kicked up there. But yeah, as you were saying, though, the ratings can definitely be playing into it, and that's just probably going into the setup of what these guys are running, and whatever that 13 had in qualifying just ain't working in the race.
He is 6.5 seconds off the race lead right now, and Aaron Abel's still all over his gearbox. It's just that difficult to make a pass. I think another guy who may have missed the setup is Noah Clifton. Here comes Luna Lona looking to the inside and Canada corner. And Lona couldn't. It's just like I said, you get that inside lane, you really have to check up, and Clifton with the wider line able to get the speed off the exit, and look at the difference there between the 94 and the 00 there off the exit of the corner. Great run for those guys. Meanwhile, top 4 are kind of all on each other here. And realistically, I think any of these 4 guys could easily win this race here today. Of course, Trey Smith has led every lap so far. Chris Reynolds still right there. And Tanner Parton has closed in on these guys in this 24 machine. And Tanner's never won before on the channel. I know he wants to get his first career win. And this would absolutely be a great race to get your first career win on. Hey, the last time we were here in the Haas IndyCar Series, it was the first career win for Angel Gutierrez. I know Tanner Parton wants to be the next one to do that here. And a good opportunity for him. And he wants to get that experience. He is pretty much in that championship bubble right now. He's in the chase currently in the Wawa Cup Series over there. And he wants to get as much experience as he possibly can here today to help him with that, as the Cup Series will be here on Saturday. And meanwhile, right in front of them, Chris Reynolds really looking there on his teammate Trey Smith. This 75 might be a bit faster than the 79. And just like what we saw with Avery Alford, wondering if Trey Smith is a little bit slower than the guys behind him here, because they're jamming up right behind the 79.
I mean, I think that's kind of telling in the fact that both Parton and I believe that's John Stewart, they were both kind of lagging back a little bit compared to the top 2, and now they have closed right back in, whether that's them playing a conservative from earlier or if that leader is starting to struggle. Either way, that is going to definitely spice things up a little bit. Speaking of spicing things up, it might be what you were saying, that Clifton looks like he might be starting to struggle.
Luna Lona has pulled away from the 94. She's gotten around him. Now Aaron Abel still trying to get around Avery Alford here. They're closing in, though, on Clifton ahead of them. So this could get a little dicey right here as these guys battle for position. And they try to get around Noah Clifton. Aaron Abel really pushing in. He's a little bit off. And Alford, this is interesting. You know, they may have, heard what you were saying. It's like, someone's off in this car. Let's go ahead and fix it. And Alford coming down the pit lane for his pit stop here. Now, even though this is not at halfway yet, he still should be able to make it to the end of the race without having to come back down again right here. So, Avery Alford, very interesting strategy right here for the number 13. We'll have to see if that gives him some bit of an advantage on these guys, because while the tire wear is not significant here, may be able to make an adjustment and won't have to worry with anybody else around him on the pit lane. So we're going to have to see what Alford can in fact do as the cycle goes along. And here we go. Chris Reynolds. He's looking. He's about as close as he can get to Trey Smith without passing him. He's going to bump him out of the way. And as the team owner, I don't advise that. But Alford, or should I say Reynolds, unable to make the pass there on Trey Smith for the race lead, and Tanner Parton right there in the 24 within a second of our race leader. And if these two tangle, which we have not seen any carnage yet in this race, but it's very possible that our two leaders could possibly tangle, and Tanner Parton's in the catbird seat to take the race lead away from these guys if they get into each other. But Reynolds is doing all he can to stay right with this 79 and have a shot to get around him here.
Well, these guys tangling is definitely a possibility. Just with how close they've gotten already and how close they get and contact being made, I would not be surprised. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, not going to say it will be intentional, but it is just certainly very possible. So just be aware.
Of course, our 4 leaders going to stay out this lap. The window kind of opens up around lap 8 for these guys, but Alfred's already come down, so that's going to be interesting right there. Meanwhile, a battle right here between Seidel and Cole Raymond. That'll temporarily be for the 10th position. Christian Master Bradshaw's falling back quite a bit in the 34 machine. He's a bit off the pace. You got Troxel there, Sam Medeo, Ace Garcia, Zachary Fitzwater, John Andrews. Logan Williams is down the pit lane. He's going to take after Alfred and try to get something different on the rest of the field here. Brad Stover there, Jay Knapp, Landon Smith Jr. Christian Vargas, runner-up in the Indy 250. Not a good day for him. Angel Oliveira, Eric Drew, and then there's Alfred in the 13 who's already made his pit stop, and that's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. Saw that in the corner of your screen as they battle. Chris Reynolds going to be able to make the pass there on Trey Smith for the race lead on lap number 8.
Oh, man, as he almost gets clipped in the back. Oh, man, he's right on top of him there. That is.
They are. They're really pushing it right here. No doubt about it. And Trey Smith going to get back to the outside. Oh, but you don't want the outside through the carousel. That's going to open the door for Tanner Parton to take second, and they finally knocked off that 79 for the race lead. Trey Smith was clearly not up to speed with the rest of these guys. They're going to be side by side through the kink, though. They got to be careful here. That's a very tight corner to do that, and Trey Smith will get the advantage on the outside. That slowed up Parton, and here comes John Stewart looking to take third, back away from the 24.
Just going to set up the pit stop, though. We're right in about that money window to see if any of these guys will come down.
And, of course, look at how much of a gap Reynolds has put on Trey Smith since he passed him right there. What a good run there for Chris Reynolds. He's actually going to stay out another lap, and Trey Smith now going to come down in the 79 machine. Caleb Rhodes going to come down as well, and I think we're going to see a lot of guys in the back of the field come down here. Noah Clifton, Aaron Abel's down, Christian Master. Bit of a split strategy. This is very interesting. A lot more widespread on the cycle than I thought we were going to see. But we're on lap 9 of 13. We're closing in on the end of this race. Only 5 laps to go here at Road America. And Chris Reynolds now out front here in Chevy Indy, Wisconsin after he made the pass on the racetrack ahead of his teammate of Trey Smith. But I'd watch out for these two guys right here, Tanner Parton and John Stewart. They might have something. Of course, they lost a lot of ground there to Chris Reynolds. That 75 is very fast, and it was pretty obvious that Trey Smith was holding those guys up. But a great run here for Chris Reynolds, and he may get his 3rd win of the season here in the Haas IndyCar Series, and that could definitely put him in contention for this championship as well.
Yeah, that might be just what he needs to try to elevate himself in the points. And I mean, even if he doesn't win outright, which of course would be the most ideal, but even if he doesn't, he's still well enough ahead of that 00 that he might kind of start to claw his way forward. And it's as I was alluding to, if you're down around where 7th, 8th, 9th in points is, you're going to have to try to claw your way back now if you're going to have any good chance of trying to get this championship before the season's out.
Of course, last season, Brian Rodriguez ended up winning the championship, and he got it right at the end of the season, too. He kind of came through the field near the later part of the season, and that's when you want to be good. The last half of the season, and this is the beginning, or the second race of the last half of the season, I should say. Definitely good to see the strength out of these cars here. And I think we're going to see the rest of the field come down the pit lane right here. It's going to be fascinating to see where these guys come in relation to guys like Trey Smith and Caleb Rose, who came down a lap before them. Chris Reynolds going to come down the pit lane. I can't imagine, you know, we're really going to see, we're going to see some tires right there. Of course, like I said, tire wear really not much of a factor here at Road America, but they're still going to change them anyway. And it's going to be a splash and go and left sides only for the 75 of Chris Reynolds. Tanner Parton right there on the 24 machine. And these guys are going to really get an advantage. They did not have to put near as much fuel in the tank as Trey Smith and all these guys did because they're only going to have 4 laps to go. Where is the 79 machine? There he is. Going to get around Luna Lona right there, but he's going to lose positions to Tanner Parton and John Stewart. And Chris Reynolds, he's out of here in the 75. But there's still about 4 laps to go on this race, and that's plenty of time to make up a 3-second gap right there. And Tanner Parton has been fast in this race as well. He's got a clean racetrack ahead of him. Will he be able to close in? Is Logan Williams in the 38? He may have gone off the course somewhere. He is down the pit lane, and it looks like he's out of the race here at Road America. Such a tough break, and I know he wanted to have a lot of success here in this one. Not going to be the case for the Wisconsin native.
Bummer right there, but oh man, as he runs a little bit wide there for Chris Reynolds. He knows that he's got to try to hold this gap, and he's got a couple of faster guys behind him. So, but at the same time, did these guys fall back early in the run because they've got a good long-run car, or were they just holding back to try to save their tires? Either way, it's going to be very telling to see how these two yellow cars' speed is going to hold up.
And Trey Smith kind of closing back in on these guys as well. I don't know. I don't think either of these guys, I think they all took 2 tires. I don't know about Trey Smith. Trey Smith may have gone 4. We didn't actually see his pit stop, so we'll have to see. Like I said, tire wear really not that significant here, but maybe trying to figure something out right there as Chris Reynolds going to go up the hill right here. Now we'll see what the gap is. There's 3 laps to go here in Chevy Indy Wisconsin for the number 75 of Chris Reynolds. And all 3 of these guys right on each other. Yeah, and they lost some time right there that last lap as well. Tanner Parton kind of holding these guys up. That's not at all what they want. Caleb Rose there in 5th. Luna Lona is 6th. Then you have Aaron Abel in 7th. Roy Ribbleton, and then the DM Motorsports cars of Noah Clifton and Brad Stover, 9th and 10th. Avery Alford, he came down much earlier on, and it did not go his way. I think the later stop was what you wanted here at Road America, as clear and obvious there with Chris Reynolds pulling out ahead like he has. There's a lot of movement going on here as Noah Clifton getting passed by his teammate for the 9th position. Brad Stover going to make that one look easy. And once again, we missed it. Trey Smith got around John Stewart and Tanner Parton in one fail swoop right there. And now these guys battle as Parton clearly off the pace. Luna Lona coming close there on Caleb Rose, and John Stewart going to make the pass for 3rd.
Now, does this open the door for Trey Smith to try to run him back down? It's not got a lot of time to do it, but I think now that he's been unleashed, he's got the full green light to just go hammer time.
This is gonna be tough though. I don't think he's gonna be able to have enough time, but you know, he was clearly faster than those guys, and he got around them fairly quick as Luna Lona looking to the inside of Caleb Rose and can to the corner. That inside lane just doesn't quite have the grip on these Indy cars that they would like to have. Not quite like with the stock car. They don't go into that corner. They don't go into these corners with near as much speed, and they don't have to slow down as much in comparison to their fastest speeds in order to make that inside lane work. So we'll see that on the Sprint Series race tomorrow. We'll see that on Saturday as a 2nd loss there for Trey Smith as Chris Reynolds continues to pull away. You know, I said at the top of the show, I don't think we're going to see a 8-second race victory. We may actually see an 8-second race victory here. Chris Reynolds, clearly the fastest car on the racetrack right now, and only unless something drastic happens, I don't see anyone surpassing the 75 for the race win.
And neither do I. I mean, I will say, I did pick him, so he's definitely going to crash. But if I do that, Chris, I am so sorry. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty telling right here. Just that, oh goodness,
that was tight there.
Just getting into each other.
Tanner Parton and John Stewart have been on each other this entire race. They have not separated at all. And now John Stewart back in the position to get a podium here for Wisconsin Speedworks. At least something's going right for the Williams brothers in this race. Avery Alford fell back quite a bit there. John Stewart's teammate, but John Stewart himself doing a solid job here today. But no one's doing a better job than Chris Reynolds. It's going to be the white flag next time by for the 75 here at Road America. Trey Smith wanted to go back-to-back here in this race. And it does not look like that is going to happen here today, but Chris Reynolds still has to get around 14 more corners. Chris, 16 if you count these last 2 on this lap. And then he's going to be a winner once again here in the Haas IndyCar Series. It's going to be his 3rd win of the season if he can, in fact, bring it around one more time. Up the hill, white flag in the air for Chris Reynolds and Outer Island Motorsports. We're going to go 1-2 here at Road America. And you got Tanner Parton once again looking to get on John Stewart here. Not quite able to get there, and Chris Reynolds able to pull away even more there from Trey Smith, so he can play it easy here on this last lap.
He got plenty of a lead. Luna got into the top 5 there, passing Caleb Rose. So going to be another solid points day for that 0-0. Going to extend the gap on some of her closest competitors. But I mean, look, excuse me. Look out for Chris Reynolds maybe as this season goes on. I mean, going to look like become a 3-time winner here. So.
Oh no, Trey Smith went off.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness! Right on the last lap, and I was waiting for something like this to happen. I was thinking, oh no, it could happen to Chris Reynolds, where he just lose it in the turn 5. We saw that happen a couple times in qualifying, and Logan Williams had it happen to him, and then John Stewart, and that's Landon Smith Jr. They're off course as well, and Trey Smith. Wow. Trey Smith out of the race on the last lap. That's unbelievable right there. He had a second-place run going for him.
Man. I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt you there, but that may have honestly just knocked him out of the championship.
Yeah, I mean, 6 races after today. That's going to hurt Trey Smith quite a bit. He was pushing way too hard, and Chris Reynolds can thank his lucky stars that didn't happen to him, because he would have lost the race if that had happened, but he's going to get it. Chris Reynolds, coming up the hill, is going to win Chevy Indy Wisconsin, his 3rd win of the season in the Haas IndyCar Series. John Stewart is going to finish 2nd, and then Tanner Parton will get the podium, and that's another position for Luna Lohner right there, so she's going to get even more points than originally expected. And then Caleb Rose, Aaron Abel, Roy Ribbleton, Brad Stover, Noah Clifton, and Thomas Troxell's going to get a top 10 after all that. Good job there for Thomas Troxell. Not been a good season for him here in the Haas IndyCar Series, but it's been a great season for this guy, Chris Reynolds. 3-time winner on the season. You just can't stop him, can you? You know, he's on pace to possibly tie Chase Harris's record that he set in 2020, 5 wins on the season. He's up to 3 now. And we're going to have to see what Chris Reynolds can do in this championship battle. My goodness, that was an interesting race right there. And Trey Smith, the standings are not official quite yet. They're still coming up the hill and crossing the line back in the field. Trey Smith is going to fall there to the 24th position, as you officially see right there. They are official now. That is huge there, and that's not good at all for Trey Smith. John Anders also knocked out Landon Smith Jr. You saw that in the corner of your screen, or you'll see it right here in a replay right there. Wow, that kind of caught us off guard right there at the end, but thankfully for Chris Reynolds' sake, he was able to keep it clean on the last lap, and he's your race winner here in Chevy Indy Wisconsin.
Well, first off, congrats to Chris Reynolds on finally beating my pick curse.
There you go. I think we're all getting past that here now.
Finally. But I'm just going to point this out as I'm also looking at the points coming into this race. Of course, great for Chris Reynolds. He's going to advance quite a bit here because Logan Williams, dead last, came into this race 5th in points. Of course, Trey Smith, with what just happened to him, he was 7th. I doubt he'll hold on to the top 10 at this point. And then some kind of mid-runs for some of the other competitors there. So,
well, John Andrews, he's 4th in the points. John Andrews 4th in the points and wrecked out there. He wasn't really running up front in this race. He's 25th to finish this one, so he's going to fall back. Not a good run for Jay Knapp. He finished 21st. Brad Stover finished 8th. Solid run for him, and Chris Reynolds finished well. But, yeah, Luna Lohner, you know, Aaron Abel stayed within a few points there. It's not going to be, you know, that much more of a gap for Lona heading into Chicagoland 2 weeks from now, but that's not good for a lot of those guys who are right behind Luna Lohner. But she actually had a good day, and a lot of her competitors, maybe with the exception of Chris Reynolds, ended up falling behind her. So these points are going to be very interesting heading into Chicagoland 2 weeks from now for Honda Indy Chicago. But what a race that was. And we got the Wall Cup Series coming back here. They're going to be 16 laps and 2 pit stops. How do you think that race is going to go? They go about 15 seconds a lap slower than the first time in 4 years the Cup Series has been here to Road America. What are you expecting on Saturday in the Storm Bowling 400K?
Oh boy, that was a good question. I mean, if tonight said anything, it's showed that the going long on the set of tires was actually the way to go, doing the overcut. Is that going to hold true with the stock cars? That is a very good question. I think that is something that um, everyone in that series is probably going to try to take note and see, all right, is that going to carry over from the open wheels to the stock cars, or is it going to be reversed? Is there going to be more tire wear where the undercut's going to be the better way to go? And then they'll pretty much have to decide on their strategy from there. So that is going to, I think, be the key come Saturday's race.
It's definitely going to be a fun one. Great to have the Cup Series back here to Road America, and excited to see who gets it done, especially considering we only got 2 races left to go until the cutoff for the chase. So we got Road America and we got Nashville, and it's getting interesting. That's all I got to say. I can't disclose too much since you are a driver in the series, Andrew, but it's getting good over there. Chris Reynolds, 3rd win of the season here in the Haas IndyCar Series, gets it done in Chevy Indy Wisconsin. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Wall Sprint Series here from Road America, and then Saturday at noon Eastern Time for the Storm Bowling 400K. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Here are the point standings for the Haas IndyCar Series after 10 races. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time for Honda Indy Chicago from the Chicagoland Speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.